Grayscale hints at plans to convert Bitcoin Trust into BTC settled ETF. We know this is coming. I don't need a hint for anybody to tell me this. Grayscale looks to be seeking to restructure its Bitcoin Trust into a physically backed fund after the SEC approved a Bitcoin's future ETF. A physically backed Bitcoin ETF is not going to be happening in this cycle, okay? The one that was approved, the Pro shares, right? And I think the Valkyrie also, these are futures, which means they're not settled in Bitcoin. There may be a type of futures that could be settled with physical Bitcoin. I'm not 100% sure on that, but these ones are not. I told you guys earlier this year, I did not expect over the summer, earlier, or, towards September, told you guys I did not expect a Bitcoin ETF to be passed, because if we got one, that would send the price of Bitcoin too high. Well,
too high, too fast.
Too high, too fast, right? Well, here's what's happening. Now we are getting these ETFs approved, but they're not the optimal version. So we will see Bitcoin hit $100,000. That is coming from this, but we won't see the overhype that could push it much further than that. And I told you guys that that is not something we are going to see. A lot of people saying, and I'm going to keep warning you guys. I'm going to keep warning you about believing in a $300,000 to $400,000 Bitcoin, because while I did used to believe it, it is not happening. Institutional investment giant Grayscale is reportedly considering converting its Bitcoin Trust into a physically settled exchange-traded fund after having taken to Twitter to criticize the cash-settled Bitcoin futures ETF recently approved by the U.S. Bitcoin commentator Preston Pish chimed in to ask Silber when Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust would be converted into BTC settled fund. He just said, "Stay tuned." Barry Silber, a man of China, is actually saying some really witty stuff.
Yeah.
On there. What was the other one he said? Did you remember that one?
There was I think it was over the weekend. Somebody was asking for somebody to come. They're like, "Can we just get a whale to come in and push the Bitcoin price?"
He said, like, "Sure."
And he's like, "Give me a minute," or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's like, I could do it if you want.
Look, there's some really funny CCP jokes out there. Let's see. So anyways, he said, "Stay tuned." We knew this was happening. I mean, I almost feel like, why is this news?
Yeah.
Like we knew this was, we've talked about this for months on the channel.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. The question's going to be, like you said, when. And if I had to guess, it'll probably be in the depths of a bear market that we start to see the actually physically backed ones start to get approved. But we'll have to wait and see.
I agree 100%. Pro shares Bitcoin's ETF to start NYSE trading. That's the New York Stock Exchange. Trading on Tuesday. The SEC gave the go-ahead for Bitcoin future ETF at the end of last week. Now, what is the big deal about the cash versus the physically backed? Here's what it is. The physically backed motivates exchanges or the funds to go buy the physical Bitcoin. We're already in a supply crisis. The cash settled ones, you don't have that same incentive. These go back to the first futures that were launched back in 2017 that kind of crashed the market. They were also cash settled. But I do believe the news of this and the relief that we've been waiting on it forever. And here's what people, I believe, are underestimating about this. And this is why I'll continue to tell you that the ETF we got from ProShares, it's not honestly that giant of a deal from what it's literally going to do to the market perspective. I do expect we'll probably see all-time highs tomorrow based on this. But here's why this is so big. We have the roadmap now. The roadmap for a physically backed ETF with Bitcoin, it's going to get approved now. Now, whether it's next year or the year after or 2 months from now, it is going to get approved. This is the sign of that. That's why this is such a big deal. And it almost feels like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, we're here. We made it. We don't know how long it's going to take to get to the next thing, but this alone can certainly send it up to $100,000. So they greenlighted it on Friday. Filed for its Bitcoin strategy this past summer. Fund is linked to CME. With SEC mulling over dozens of Bitcoin ETFs, he made it clear that funds linked to the futures market rather than the underlying asset are more likely to win regulatory approval. This is an exciting step, but not the last. This is from New York Stock Exchange. News of a long-awaited Bitcoin approval sent the price to $60,000. There will be hopes that the debut of a Bitcoin ETF on the New York Stock Exchange will open floodgates to a stream of similar products with regulatory approval and accelerating the flow of investment into crypto. So,
And real quick, I meant to do